Merry meet and welcome to Lux Dragon Queen Magic. I'm Taylor and today is our Witchy Wednesday. And so continuing on with understanding the different magical tools that we can use in our practice, today we're going to talk about knives or Athames or Bollines. And so we'll discuss exactly what each of those terms mean. Past knives, I hope we all know what knives are. So with that, let's go ahead and just jump right into it. I only have 3 live examples for us today, but there is so many types and ways that you can use this type of magical tool and incorporate it into your practice. So as always, I encourage you to be creative with the way that you choose to follow spirit. So let's go ahead and go over the different terms then to start us off. So we do have the Athame, and that's what we're going to be discussing first. So an Athame in a magical practice is typically called a magical knife, and it is not typically used for carving or for cutting. It's typically just used to harness power and direct it. Very similar to a wand, except a lot more powering and typically a lot more thought focus rather than passion focus. And so there's a lot more logic typically behind using it because it does follow that sword energy that we've talked about on the channel before. And so with that, an Athame will typically be a black handle. A black handle and be sharp on both sides, but not necessarily sharpened on both sides, but not necessarily sharp itself. Typically, you wouldn't want to be able to actually hurt yourself on a Athame. This one is a little bit sharper, and I think with any knives that comes to any kind of fineness, you will find that there is a certain sharpness to it. I mean, spoons are sharp. Anyways, so with that being said, this is just a very classic Athame in regards to what one would call an Athame. The other thing I'll temper with this though is, as I mentioned, a lot of people won't cut or carve with their Athames or sometimes feel. But in reality, if you don't want to try to find another magical knife that we'll talk about using for cutting and things like that and carving, you can use just a tool that makes sense for you, and we'll talk about that more towards the end. But let's go ahead and move into the next one, which is called a Bolline. So this is considered the actual tool that can be used for cutting and harvesting. There is even some further practice where it is said that it can only be used within an active circle, but that kind of goes against most of the other findings in regards to using it for cutting herbs and things that will be used in the actual practice. So this one I will go ahead and show you. And again, a very classic example. So we have a white handle. The white handle is typically just to differentiate from the Athame. That's all it's meant for. So color doesn't really matter. It's more about your intention and what you're using the tool for. And when I say using the tool for, I mean more about the magical purpose, the spiritual purposes that you're using it for, not the am I cutting with this or am I doing power work or energy spells. And so just pretty quick to the point with most of these, because it really is just very similar to wand energy. It's that we've discussed in detail, except there's a lot more elemental move around it. So because swords are always pretty straightforward and to the point, right? And so with that though, we do have something that is a little bit more interesting that I came across. And so this one, is technically, it is blunt, but with a white handle. So it could be considered an Athame, but those who would say that it needed to be a black handle would go against that. So just wanted to point that out. Again, white color doesn't necessarily matter. But this is a selenite dagger, and I absolutely love this as an inner tool because it already has energy within itself, so it will only support other rituals that work with selenite, and for instance, like a healing ritual. And if I'm really trying to maybe cut out some harmful memories or some harmful past experiences, and really isolate those, but you always want to do that with a loving energy. And so this would be a great one to use for that kind of power work, right? So it's a way to be creative in how we find our tools and how we use our tools, and also understanding what they're made of and how we can incorporate that into our practice. And so lastly, I just want to go over again how you really don't need to focus on what the magical tool looks like. It could be a butter knife, it could be a paring knife that you need to simply use to carve some runes in, and you say a little prayer, or you maybe maybe you do have some incense that you have lit for the day and you just pass it over that real quickly before using it for your magical purpose. So as always, it's more about the intention that we put behind what we're doing, because these are quite literally tools, and we ourselves are the magicians. We ourselves are the ones who are connecting with that divinity, connecting with that source, and we are asking to find a way to manifest a reality from source into our world. So with that, we're actually going to go ahead and end it there today. I hope this was beneficial for you guys as we continue going through these different types of tools that are associated with a witch practice, and understanding more about why they are associated with a practice and whether or not we want to incorporate those. And so, as always, I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you for liking and subscribing. Please do not forget to comment below. Let me know maybe if this is a practice that you would like to incorporate, or maybe you have your own example that you'd like to share. And I also want to thank everyone who has been donating to the PayPal. It really does support me in continuing this channel and helping me create content that can be more supportive for everyone here who is trying to connect with that spirit, with that source, and with their faith while being magical. And so, blessed be everyone here, and I will definitely see you next time.